going
Yeah.
back to my group, that was one
Yeah.
of the
Go
things.
back to group. Yes.
That's one of the things that I wanted my group, because I kept talking about entrepreneurship, but they also think about entrepreneurship. They're gonna have to quit their job. So everybody in our group, we had principals, we had ministers and stuff, my friends, and they didn't want, and engineers. They didn't want to leave their job. So I said, well, if I show them Abdul and Ron and them, they'll see that hey, they're entrepreneurs, but they still working full time jobs, and maybe they'll click and work. And that was the thing. The hardest thing in the world was to get them to go on that ride, with like I had went with them for about maybe 3 or 4 months. Every weekend, I would beg them, man, come up here to the store. We're gonna get in the van. We're gonna ride with them. We'll wait. We'll wait 30, 40 minutes. Where your group at, Mike? They come and they don't come. They go. So
Yeah, that
yeah.
was one of the other things that really fascinated me about your story was the fact that you had to keep asking your friends to join you, and the fact that, again, when we deal cross-culturally, I think one of the issues that our counterparts have is not that they don't want to show us anything, it's that they think we're not serious.
Mhm.
Fortunately, you were the mediator and the go-between, and they knew you were serious, so
Mhm.
you were able to kind of keep you know
Yeah.
keep that alive and keep like, no, 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 they are going to show up like one day. But I do wonder sometimes if it's not all just racism. Y'all know how I am. I
Mhm.
sometimes I think it's not just racism. I think it's the fact that when we are invited to certain things, we don't show up, you know um or
Yeah,
sometimes we
I
don't.
think it goes both ways. For one, granted, my friends, they had never they don't know any entrepreneurs. I was the only entrepreneur that they knew, and
Mhm,
because I wasn't this shiny thing or anything, they did not know that. They didn't think I had any money.
mhm.
I tell this story all the time. Uh, Now here it is. I'm doing great. I hadn't worked in about 2 to 3 years. I don't got to the point now. I'm out the rat race. I'm pretty much retired, and I'm like 31, 32. And so my friend, we're going to a Super Bowl party, and he goes to this new church now. He said, "Man, we're going to have a Super Bowl party with the guys. Come on and go." I'm like, "All right, let's go." So we get there, and Super Bowl and all that. And after that, Woods, they're going to have a little prayer before we leave, and we stand up and everybody holding hands. And that was one of the things they said. He was like, I invited my best friend out. I hope it's not going to embarrass him, but he lost his job about 2 or 3 years ago, and he hasn't been able to find anything. And I want us to just pray for him, that hoping that God will send him a job and that he'll be okay, and he'll be able to make it. And here it is now. No, I was making 4 times as much as I was making as an engineer, but they didn't see it that way. They looked at it that I was having a hard time struggling, and they stood up and they prayed for me to go find a job and all of that. So it was just the
Yeah,
fact they had
God,
never
send me
seen.
some more money.
Yeah. Yeah, just the fact that they had never seen entrepreneurship, and they had never really seen anybody with no money. And so
Yeah.
what happened when we finally, and I finally got them, I just I want I just said, look, man, y'all please, just let's just go. Give me 2 hours. Let's just go with them for 2 hours. And so I got on the phone. And I called everybody up and kept bugging them. And Abdul he said, I'll wait for him, Sneed. He said, I'll wait for him. So Abdul waited around, and then finally they showed up about 1 o'clock. And so there we went. He took us to an actual shopping center, a food line shopping center. They was in the process of building that. They had some art parcels there. They had a daycare. They had a daycare. They had a gymnasium that they were putting out there. They had a softball field and all that. So they was like, he showed us around. He showed us the project, and then he went and grabbed the bank statements. He came back with his bank statements, and he opened it up, and they had like $30 million cash. And he said, I can write a check for $3 million, and don't have to ask nobody for anything. He had the ability. He in his group, him and Ron was like the bird dogs. So if they saw something they thought would benefit the group, they could write a check for up to $3 million without no questions asked. And so that's what he told us. He said, "Hey, you got three things here. You got the daycare, you got the gym. There was like a Clayton Fitness or something. It's like a kind of like a Gold's Gym they were building. He said you can have that, and they had a pizza restaurant, or you can have this restaurant." And he was like, "You all pick what you want to do." He said, "Y'all don't have to go to the bank for no loan or anything. We'll fund it. You all just get it up and running, and y'all operate it and run it, and we'll split the profits, and we'll finance everything."
Now, let me just stop you here, because the fact that Black entrepreneurs would be even given something like this, again, we're always begging the government, we're always begging these big VCs. Number one is, with equity crowdfunding, we're able to raise up to $5 million amongst ourselves without asking. I mean, obviously we have to go through the SEC and file paperwork, but we're able to now do these types of things within the community. We're able to buy businesses, we're able to start them, we're able to grow them. So, but Mike is also saying that he had opportunities, and a lot of it, especially from entrepreneurs, this has to do with relationships and with people seeing you show up every single day, every single week or month without fail, and believing that you can do it. So I do think that having relationships and having cross-cultural relationships is important for us, So I love that, but then you got another twist to your story as well. So I'm going to toss it back to you.
Yeah. So it was all of a sudden because like we won't even think. I thought he was just going to show us. I didn't think he was going to do that, and so. So he asked us, "Which one did y'all want?" And he had the keys to any one we could choose, and so I say, "Give us a little bit of time." So we go there and we talk, and I say, "Look, I like y'all and stuff, but I don't want to be in business with you all right now." Right now, I said, "This is just a little too much." So I tell Abdul, I said, "We thank you, but right now we need to think more about this thing. We didn't think about going into business together, and this is something we need to think about." And so he said, "Okay, fine." He said, "Let me know tomorrow." And we was like, "Okay." So we go home all
I'm
night.
sorry, let me stop you there.
Go ahead.
Wealthy people like fast turnarounds.
Right.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
are not like we're going to take 6 months to do
Right.
deliberation and all of that. So that's another sign of a true wealthy person.
Yeah. So then he said, he said, "We'll meet back tomorrow. Let me know." And so all that day, that night, everybody felt the way I felt at the same time. They was like, "How do you guys get all this money? What they do?" Then we start saying the government giving them money. That we're trying to figure out how they getting this money and how they have all this stuff. So we meet back that Sunday afternoon. He tell us to meet him in another town, and this time we meet him in a town called Nightdale. In Nightdale, we go to a block. It has 3 houses on it. I think it was 3. It was either 2 or 3 houses on it. A beauty salon and a convenience store, and a barber shop. So that's in the whole block. And he said, "Hey, this is a black barber shop, black beauty salon. It's in y'all community. Y'all need to be operating and stuff. And if y'all don't want to do that business, y'all can have everything on this block. Same thing. We'll finance everything. Y'all go renovate the houses. You can sell them or rent them, whatever. We'll split the profit. Y'all get the get the stores and stuff up and running. The barbershop and the beauty salon was already there and running, but the convenience store needed to get refreshed up. You redo the store, same thing. We'll just split the profits coming off of here. You all just operate and run it." And so now we have to go back to God knows he done made it even. He done sweetened the deal, made it even better. And so from there, we talked, and I say, "Look, man," I said, "my guys had never done a business before. They don't know anything about business. I'm the only person, entrepreneur. I've never done other than what we've done together at our store. That's the only little joint venture and stuff I've done. But it wasn't really that hard because you all know business and I know business. It wasn't nobody getting up to speed. So I said, how about We don't want to be in debt to you all, because that's what he's really trying to do. They got all these properties and all these projects. They want to get other people to manage them for them and get them up and running, and they just split the profits off of them. I was like, I don't want to be in debt to you. I said, how about if you would just show us how y'all put y'all group together and how it operates, and so our friends can do that too, and we'll like to do that better. And he was like, okay, fine. So he gave us their bylaws and stuff, and we got them. And for like 6 months, twice a week, we'll meet up, and we'll read every word of their bylaws. If it was something that we didn't understand, we'll call a lawyer or CPA, and they explain it to us. And so after about 6 months, we realized, we figured out how they were doing it. We formed our appliance, P1322. And we just said, we thought about an amount that everybody could put in that wouldn't hurt their families. And at that time, it was $300 a month, and everybody just put $300 in a month. And we kept doing that for maybe about two to 3 years. No, 1 year. We done it for 1 year. And at that time, not 1 year, it was about 6 months. 6 months, our first business we done was a vending business, Above and Beyond. We bought a lot of vending machines, set them out at different businesses at school systems, left Above and Beyond. At that time, my joint venture was ending with Abdul and Ron. I told them I was getting out and I was going to go be with my friends and we're going to do our own business. So we had a mattress store and a furniture store in franchise that we had bought into. So I knew how that worked, and I knew the profits and stuff from it because I've been running it for 3 years there. So I went the next town over, and our group then bought the franchise rights to that franchise, opened up there. We ran that for like 2 to 3 years. From there, we started doing lending trust for hard money, doing hard money lending. Then we invested in, started doing like you all are doing now, think tanks. We had black entrepreneurs come to us. They needed money. We'll give them seed money. They'll pay it back. We done that. Got into real estate, and now we're at the point now where we're into it, and it's done okay. But now people are wanting to do more within their own families. So now we say we know how it kind of works, know what needs to be done. It works great for Abdul and Ron and them because they are family. Their kids are going to marry each other. They've been marrying each other. There ain't no such thing as divorce. Their wives and stuff are all the sisters.
They're like the mafia.
Yeah. All of that. So with them, it's okay for them to keep staying in there and keep doing it. I found out for me, I like better joint ventures where we come together for a project or two. Mm-hmm. And then from there we can split off, because what happens as we start to get deeper and deeper into it, we found out a lot of things that it exposes a lot of things that we didn't have. We didn't have an accountant within our group, so Ron's wife, she was the accountant, and then their nephew that they brought over, he was going to school for accountant. So what happened? Whenever they got ready, they had their businesses and stuff. There's no problem getting all the K1s and stuff ready. There's no problem getting all the books and stuff ready because all that stuff is in house. We didn't have an architect. We didn't have an engineer. We had no architect engineer in our group. Ron is an architect engineer. So every time we get a piece of property, it's hitting us $4,000, and we got to wait to get something done. They don't. Ron just does it, and they're up and running.
They built an internal team.
Yeah, they got internal team. If they find out something is missing, and mm-hmm. if your child has got the capacity and they smart enough, they ain't mm-hmm. gonna go to school for no social work. We need a structural engineer here, and you going to be a structural engineer.
Well, the interesting thing about that is they're also never unemployed unless they do something egregious,
right.
where, and I've worked in a family business too. I worked with my mother in her bookkeeping business. Like, you're never unemployed.
Right.
There's always something to do.
Yeah.
But how do you get there? You get there because the family has a structure,
mm-hmm.
And if you decide you want to go in the corporate world, great. But you always have,
Mhm.
like people say FU money, you always have the FU
Right.
job you can
Yes,
go to.
yes,
Like, hey, I
yes.
can go back and work for my family. At least I can deal with their craziness.